wasn't bow ties. My people, look. So I was running around today doing stuff with the kids, and I didn't get a chance to check social media as much as I wanted to today. Because I'm on vacation. I wouldn't say vacation, I'm on break. And I see, we're still out here in our shenanigans, moment right now, right? And I feel like, for those of you who are even remotely aware, now that I'm on TikTok, Black women are out here clowning in these streets. Okay. So between all the colorism talk and the black man situation and this is what I would say. So you saw the thumbnail to get in, right? Let me see if I can pull that back up for a second. Let me stop sharing this. Let me stop sharing this. Let me go back. I'm going to post the thumbnail that it took for you to get into to see me here, okay? Um view only link. Go ahead and post that there. Can you guys see this? I didn't let me go ahead and present this. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I should have been yeah. Planes, trains, and automobiles. I put this up here for a reason. Now, look, I know some of you guys are going to be like, who does she think she is? It's okay. It's okay. I need some of you to go get in your car and go somewhere you've never been. I don't care if it's across the state line. I don't care if I should have put a bus on here. Like they got the mega bus, the Greyhound, and everything else. Get on the Amtrak or get on a plane and go somewhere. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. And look, this isn't about the luxury movement because you can go places for cheaply. You can do it on a budget. Now, look, I understand for some of you who have austere situations right now. I totally get it. I'm not talking about you, right? You are in a season where you probably can't do this, but some of you can. Some of you can, and you just want to be trifling. Now, listen, all the way, listen. This is titled Planes, Trains, and Automobiles for a reason. I need you to choose one. I should have put a bus on here. I need you to get on it and go somewhere. Go somewhere. Do something. You don't need a friend, but if you have a friend, that's even better. But don't sit there and hinge your happiness or anything on a friend. Hold on a second. I need to go yell at my children. I need about 5 seconds. I'm back. Now, listen. I need you guys to get a life. And I want you to listen to why I say go get in one of these modes of transportation and go somewhere. Go somewhere and do something. We're going to let's just talk about from what, okay, if you want to talk about men, if you want to talk about colorism, you want to talk about any of these things, let me tell you something. I am not discounting the issues we face collectively, but I want you to understand these issues exist worldwide. And you can learn something from other people. Let me tell you something, just to give you some perspective. I have one of my guy friends I knew from the military. He's not dead, Egyptian American, very Americanized, very American. You wouldn't know it by the way he talks and acts. Married a Moroccan. And I remember listening to her name, I don't want to give her name out. She told me, now I'm going by what she told me. She told me in Morocco, a lot of the women have issues with French women. The Moroccans want to deal only with the French women. I'm sure there's some colonialism or something involved in that. But she would go on and on and on about why she couldn't stand French women. And I would listen, and I was like, it sounds like Black women here, the way she was talking. And if you go in Asia, okay, now, let me just say this. I've been to several places in Asia. I had to write some things down. Singapore, Japan, Thailand, and China. And for those of you who are even remotely aware, Thai people do not look like the Chinese and the Japanese. Thai people got some melanin in the nation going on, okay? You know, the Japanese and the Chinese, they want to stay porcelain white. They want to have they like that proximity to whiteness. That's a whole other issue. Well, hold on a second. Let me put this up here before people start getting in their feelings. Let me see. I can salute chat and panel. Check your email. Huh? Oh, I'm prior Air Force. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm reading my chat here. It says Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. I know exactly who this is. Salute, chat and panel. Check your email. Then he says, what branch I'm Army retired. So look, when I went to those places, I wasn't even in the military. So look, listen, when you go to these places, you've got women who vary in skin tone. They deal with colorism too. When I was in high school, one of my best friends was Indian. Okay? She wasn't like, she was, I would say, medium complected. Okay? I'm just giving you that. You want to have an interview. I will check offline. You sent an email today for an interview. I will check offline. Let me tell you something. Some of the issues that we deal with are like, I'm talking about from a women's standpoint, worldwide. The effects of colonization on so many countries worldwide. Now, what up? What up? So, look, when I say people need to go get in one of these modes of transportation, you need to do it. Let me tell you something, it's going to be very spiritual for you too. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to learn a lot about what real poverty looks like. You're going to learn a lot about what wealth looks like, what convenience looks like, what femininity looks like, and womanhood and sisterhood and all these other things. Talking to other women. When you get on a plane and you focus on yourself, or if you get on a train or get on an automobile, let me tell you something. You won't have time to post the stuff that you're posting because you're going to be so like, holy cow. The topography, is it topography? Because I don't think the word is topography. Isn't that like more with fonts? I always mess that word up. If you look at the landscape, look at your environment around you, look at the food around you, look at how the men dress and look at how they treat their women. And some of them are just as trifling as ours back here in the United States too. Look at how the women are. A lot of times men think that, oh, if I go overseas, I'm going to get a better quality woman. And I'm like, look, I have lived overseas. I have been to, let me just list off the countries I have been. These are the ones I can remember. Germany, the UK, Spain, Italy, Czech Republic, Iceland, Luxembourg, France, Turkey, the Greek Isles, Belize, well, Hawaii, even though that's not a country, Hawaii, Singapore, Japan, Thailand, China, Australia, Mexico, Canada, a million places in the Caribbean, Holland, and Belgium. Now, those are the ones that I can remember. Now, that wasn't meant to be a flex, although it was. Let me take this off for a second. Hold on. But I say this to let people know, when you are engaged in taking care of yourself and building yourself and learning yourself and gaining new experiences, you will not have time to post about Akon. I think that was the thing. I was like, Akon and his shenanigans. You'll be like, just more shenanigans. Let me tell you something. I'm going to say this as a community, and I'm going to say this as a Black woman. You can't save everybody. You cannot. And why would you dedicate all these mental cycles? Like, we know that people are totally messed up. Look, this is a messed up situation. We are messed up. But to sit there and engage over and over and over in the same rhetoric, let me tell you something, because the people who continue to keep posting it, like I said, although the things that they're saying are true, but they're quite cunning. They're cunning. They're very good at putting out very triggering content. You know why? Because people are going to continue to follow and listen to it over and over and over again. And so what you can do is, you don't have to say, I hate this or don't do this. All you got to do is keep posting around the periphery. Okay? Now, I said what I said. Now, if you guys want to get together and bang your heads like click clacks, listening to the same stuff over and over and over again, hey, I don't know what you want from me. So look, I uploaded this because I was trolling myself. I've come to the conclusion. Now I gotta find it. What did I just do? I didn't upload it. Oh, see, now I'm just doing too much. Let me go. Let me go ahead. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, so you know what? You're doing too much. What was I doing? Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. You know what? Okay, we're gonna cancel that. Hold on. In the wrong spot. Here we go. Are you ready? Bam! There it is. I've come to the conclusion that my children, my husband and I, we are passport bros and hoes. Let me tell you something. Because you know there was that trend out there where dudes pretend this was a passport. They was walking around like it meant something. I'm like, well, is the shiggity stamped? And let me just say, by the way, since I'm humble bragging, those countries that I named, I've been to I won't say many, but several of them I've been to more than once or thrice. Okay. What I'm saying is, hey, I'm live, so you can't come through this way. Okay. All right. So let me just tell you something. If you can take care of yourself, I don't care if you get in your car and cross your state boundary. Let me tell you something. A coworker of mine, I love this for him. He bought an RV. And you know what he did? They talk about like when you grow up, you put away old things. Not to say that he wasn't mature, but he basically put some of his friendships on pause and iced them. Not to be mean, but he was on some other stuff. You know what he does? He scopes out these campsites. And you know, a lot of these campsites for like RVs or like luxury places, and there's like a lot going on. That's like a whole subculture. And he is traveling everywhere, seeing stuff, like just doing stuff. And he's like, whoa, like the stuff that I'm seeing right now. And let me tell you something, there's something intoxicating about leaving and getting away from some of the mundane. But right now, let me tell you, the reason why I've been going in hard on my sisters is because I believe men need to check the men and women need to check the women. And look, I don't always get it right. I've been wrong before. I'm going to be wrong again. But what I do know is we are hyper focused on some of the stuff that doesn't matter, especially like celebrity, like Akon and Nick Cannon having 500 kids. We are not, most of us, I can't speak to whoever is watching this, we are not even in their financial bracket. They are not like us. And I don't care how much people think that they are. I mean, like they have to put their pants on the same way we do as far as being a human. But as far as understanding who we are on a day to day basis, they are removed from that. And so they think they can do and say anything because people allow them to do and say anything. They are not in touch with reality. And so many people are so dumb giving them all of their money that they can't afford, and we're propping them up. That's the reason why I say what I say about Beyonce. And look, I like some of her music. Now, listen, Black women. Let me get back on you for a second. Y'all need to just stop. Shut up. You complain about everything. And yes, you have reason to complain about a lot of stuff. I want to make this clear. At some point, when I say we, I'm talking about all of us. We have to get on with the business of the healing. We know that if you're looking at it from like men right now, because a lot of angst is centered around men. I get it. We know they're jacked up. They're all the way jacked up. We know they're colorist. I get it. We know they are not making any money and everything else, and they're part of the whacked out manosphere. I get it. You got to let them be where they are. Everybody has a space. As toxic and demonic as it is, you gotta let it be where it is right now. It's gonna serve its purpose. Some of them will come out of that way of thinking. Some of them won't. Some of them cannot be saved. And so you sitting there complaining about, having this woe is me morning. I don't know, what more do you want? Where is that getting you? What does it serve you? I'm laughing my A off, my wife and I too. So I assume you were talking about traveling everywhere. Let me tell you something. When you leave the confines of where you are used to living, or whatever it is that my child outside? No. Sorry, I'm looking around, got a lot of windows. Let me tell you something. There are things, let me tell you. Okay, hold on a second. Let me back up. I lived in Turkey for 15 months. And just being in that area, now that was during my military time. Okay. I saw so much. Half of it I've forgotten, much of it, but it's a very spiritual place, just from a religious standpoint. Just being there and learning, trying the foods. Let me tell you something. You want to know something? Which I was young at the time. I had more affirmation about my beauty outside of the United States. Now, look, I know I'm looking all plain and everything right now. Look, I'm on my break. So this is what I'm doing. But I had more affirmation outside of the United States. You know why? Well, I wore my hair straighter and everything like that because I looked different back in my fitter, finer, younger days. But I looked different. All right. They loved seeing the ethnicity, believe it or not. Let me look. I think oftentimes we take that out of context. For those of you, I'm reading this comment says, "Oh, be careful, folks are going to call you a pick me. They're going to call me whatever they're going to call me anyway." Look, the reason why I've been focusing in December on Black women is because although I agree with most of what is being said out there, that's the difference. See, pick me's will side with the men. I am not siding with you jokers right now. Yes, I am married. What I am saying is I'm intelligent enough to say what they're saying is true. The difference is we cannot hyper focus on what is going on with these whacked out dudes in the whacked out manosphere. There is a sickness there, and as quiet as his cat, I should say low key, or maybe it's high key. You know what? High key, the women that are speaking on all these things, they're basically the true antithesis. They're basically the women's sphere, in my opinion. I don't even know what it's called because they're calling out a lot of truth, but it's let me tell you something, they're hyper focused on it. I'm like, if they were focused on doing things like, you know what, let's do our own thing. Because I know there's some women out there who are highly intelligent in finances. You know what, they could start a hedge fund. They could start a hedge fund and say, we're going to start a hedge fund. You know what we're going to do? We're going to pool our resources together and we're going to pick a place and then we're going to put together a women's clinic. We're going to have a women's clinic in this austere location. And don't even talk about what's going on with the men. You can show people better than you can tell them. Because right now, if we're going to just talk about pure data points, they're not performing. They're not competing. They're not. They own nothing. We're actually in a situation now where we've got men advertising against education. You don't have to go. I'm like, hold on. Most of us, and I say all of us, men and women, are not these unicorns out here where we're like, we're just not going to get an education, but we're going to be a bajillionaire. The data points show when you are educated, you make, I think, approximately $1 million more in your lifetime. So we'll have people out here saying, like, I can't believe, you and all your education. I'm like, you sound like a dumb. You are a dumb. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. The point I'm making is people may call me a pick me. The fact of the matter is men and women, real men and women, want to be chosen and they desire and desired and appreciated. Yes, they do. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't be out here on all these social media apps whining and crying about nonsense. They wouldn't be. Men want, the L9 or whatever. I don't even know what the term is for the box. I think that's what they call it, the box. And women want the peen and they want all the things. You've got men literally trying to convince women that they're gold diggers because women want men of means. Let me tell you something. When somebody tried to come for me, it was about a few months ago, and they said that I can't even listen to you. Now, this is an ex-coworker. He's over at another location, but he said, you're one of the people who actually, you didn't marry an average man. I was like, I surely did not. I wasn't looking for anybody average because I didn't think I was average. I wanted a man of means. Why would I want somebody who's making less than me? No. Now, let's get back on target because these women are getting whacked out. We got whacked out women out here focused on these dudes, and they want to sit on these channels and find ways to continue to trigger Black women. And I find it to be grossly unproductive. It doesn't mean that I won't ever have these conversations about black men versus black women, because I do believe there's a color war. A couple years ago, I said there wasn't, but I do believe it's a color war. They want to talk about hair. They want to talk about beauty, how many ways we can apply a wig, and colorism, and everything else. So while they're sitting there judging all of these men who are trying to figure it out, I'm like, they are not introspective. I think they have a blind spot and they're way too focused on these dudes. They can't have 1 week without talking about how horrible the black man is. And let me tell you something, I don't cape for black men, but what I'm not going to do is sit here and have my entire content be about why black men are the scum of the earth. I'm like, goodness. I mean, clearly they're not all the scum of the earth, but you got a lot of them out there doing some ding dong things. And so I just feel like, hey, some of these people cannot be saved. They cannot be saved. So I say, let them go do their ding dongery things. And what you can do is you can show people better than you can tell them. When you stop dealing with people, whether it's spreading your legs and these men spreading their seam, and when the results will be different, it works both ways. So I'm like, you don't even need to keep saying it. Just do you. Go ahead, get yourself a purpose. I really do believe people need to go get on a plane, go get on a train, go get on an automobile, or get in an automobile and go somewhere. I really believe it. When you go somewhere and you get in a spa, or you go ride your motorcycle somewhere, whatever you're into, I mean, that goes for the men too. When you are focused on something else, let me tell you something. I'm going to even use education for a second. Generally speaking, people who are focused on getting educated in something, and that is including formal and informal education. When you are hyper focused on education, you don't have the cycles for anything else. You really don't. You just don't. When you are grinding for something or some purpose, you don't have time to talk about things that don't even matter. Now, this week, I have a whole lot of time because I don't have anything going on, or very little going on. So I'm sitting here with my situation. Um, and I will have another after I end this live. And I'm sitting here enjoying myself, like hee-hawing at some of the shenanigans going on. The women are losing their mind, and they're so busy being on their high horse. And apparently I must be on one too right now. They're so busy being on their high horse about why they're so angry with these men. And I'm not saying they're not justified, but I'm like, you have a blind spot and you enjoy the act of being triggered. So I want to make this clear. I am not caping for these dudes because I agree with many of the talking points. I just don't feel like talking about it all the time. I'm like, I got other things I want to do. There are so many things that can be done. And if I say, look, you need to get out of your environment. And if you're constantly meeting these dudes, let me tell you something. You need to, I'm questioning who you're picking, and you need to go meet some other people. And now you're going to have some jerks in every kind of circle and social status and everything else, but you need to go ahead and find some other people. Damian Pollock said, true. Uncle Stu, the old man on the block, says it's on both sides. It is. And look, let me just say for the record, I am not all lives mattering the situation, right? Because I'm going to make it clear. I am biased. I am a black woman, right? I am biased. But I'm like, come on. I mean, like the way they're getting down. And let me just say something else for all the black women out here. I'm going to make this clear. And if you don't like it, I'm telling you right now, unsubscribe. Flat out unsubscribe. I don't care because I don't eat off of this. I am not monetized. And if I ever get monetized, I'm still going to run my mouth. I don't eat off of this. I don't have any brand deals. I'm just a regular old regular. But let me say this to the black women. What was I going to say? Because I was in the rant. These black women out here, some of these content creators are highly intelligent and super beautiful, but they know what they're doing. They're cunning. They are. And as much as we talk about men in the whacked out manosphere leading these guys down a path that is, it's just demonic and disgusting. These women are doing some of the same thing. Because all you have to do is you don't have to say, hate Black men. What you have to do is just talk around it. How they're always bad and they're doing all these bad things. That's part of sowing the seed. It's like grooming. It's like, oh, what's the word I wanted to use? Not quite a dog whistle, but it's in that realm. Okay. And so what happens is if you keep putting out that same content over and over and over again, and you're going to have people who don't engage in any sort of critical thinking, clicking on the same content over and over and over again, what they're going to do is say, you know what? Yeah, all of these Black men are just evil. They're evil. They're going to say all these things. This is what's going on. I'm making a good point. Yeah, well, thank you. It is okay to be biased, yet be fair. So you all good to me. Well, thank you. So look, I'm saying to Black women, they need to disconnect from social media for a minute. Disconnect. Because although they're right, I'm like, okay, so now what? You're right. You're right. You're right. Now what? Where's the upside now? You're sitting around here and you're still angry. You haven't healed a bit. You haven't healed a bit. Even the vitriol of what comes out of your mouth is a lot. It's a lot. I had to stop listening to some of these people for a while. It's like feast or famine. Sometimes I check in, sometimes I don't. Now what? What are you going to do? Where are you going to heal? Because if you're still talking around it every day, I'm like, you're not healing at all. I'm just saying what I'm saying. What I do think needs to happen is y'all need to go get on some trains, some planes, trains, and automobiles. That's what needs to happen. Get out of your environment. Go talk to some other women. Go. I'm like getting hot right now. I have on a t-shirt and this sports bra and black going on. Another flags. Ew, Hawaii. So look, y'all need to get out of your environment. You need to go somewhere, see some things, try some new chocolate. I'm not a chocolate fan. Try some new food. Try some new fashion. Let me tell you something. If you travel outside the United States, there's a lot of cities that are a year to a year and a half ahead of the fashion here in the United States. Go learn a new language. You need to buy some new goods. You need to, let me tell you something, it'll give you perspective on world politics. It'll actually make you more humble, even though I didn't act like it when I was flexing. It's going to give you a perspective on what does poverty really look like. There's going to give you an idea of what does it really mean to live in a first world country. You're going to get an idea of what it's like to understand why people have these strong ideologies. Because like when you have nothing, it's easy to give someone their ideology. You give somebody their opinion. Heck, half of us are giving us our opinion here in the United States. I don't want to get into that. When you leave out of here, let me tell you something. The amount of growth when you leave out of whatever environment you're in, if you've never left the state, leave the state. If you've never left the country, leave the country. Start by going to Canada or Mexico. Not the touristy places, because a lot of y'all go to the same old little touristy places you think you're doing something. Get out beyond that. Go someplace where you have to stamp your passport. Now, look, I'm getting ready to sound real shady and real overly biased, and I know this is probably going to get people to be in their feelings. Okay, he said he's going to catch the replay. Let me tell you something. Don't just go to the Caribbean unless you're going to go into like South America, the Caribbean, because, like, for example, I haven't been to Guyana, but if you're in like Guyana, they consider themselves part of the Caribbean, but they're also part of South America. When I went to Belize this summer, I was like, this gives me Caribbean vibes, but it was still part of North America. Go somewhere, learn something, do something, learn a new hobby, learn a new sport. You need to do something. Go get another degree, because we like getting educated. Let me tell you something. I like being educated. I'm thinking about getting another master's or maybe get a PhD or something. I don't know, but I'm too busy with my kids. I love education. You can get informal education. Do something. and talk about something else. Now, look, let me get on off here and finish my situation because you know I'm off until next week. And then I need to go get another one. I plan on being nice and comfortable within the next hour. And you know what I'm talking about. But you know I'm on this app and I can't really say what I want to say. But yeah, that's it. Let me go because I was definitely on a rant and then I don't know. All right, so look, hold on. Let me go ahead and put my little situation up. I'm trying to get better about this. Bam. Now look, this is a great opportunity. If you have not subscribed, you should probably subscribe. Do you want to know why? Because I'm amazing in every way and I can do no wrong. Let me know. If you think that there was something that needs to be discussed, put it in the comment. Put it in the comment. If I missed something, sometimes I miss talking points. I can easily be wrong about stuff. I've been corrected before. I'll be corrected again. Sometimes people want to put things in the comments just because they want to just be like nasty. And I just let people stay where they are. I'm like, I can't be bothered. Very rarely do I bother. I'm like, all right, dude. But all right.